How's it going, guys? So I am getting ready for the elk hunt, which is this Saturday, and as I was putting all my gear together, I figured I'd probably make a little video series for you guys, talking a little bit about my hunting system, what goes into it, kind of some of the thought behind some of it, and anyway, hopefully you'll find it interesting. I'll probably do like an after action report, talking a little bit about what I liked, what I didn't like, and what I'm going to change up for the next year or the upcoming hunts. But the first video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about my gun, my optics, and my ammunition. So I'm going to talk about just pretty much the actual shooting equipment necessary, I think, shooting and spotting equipment necessary for the hunt in this video. And then I'll probably do backpack and clothes and first aid and all that here in the future. But first off, what I have in front of you is I have my rifle, I have my laser rangefinder, and my optics, or my binos, and then I have my ammunition. So we'll talk about these 4 different items in kind of detail here. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the rifle first. This is my custom Remington 700, chambered in .308. This is pretty well a completely custom gun. The action has been blueprinted and accurized. The barrel is an aftermarket benchmark barrel. It's got a 3R rifling, 1 in 10 twist, and it's a 22-inch long barrel. On top we have the Vortex Viper PST, which is a 4 to 16 by 50 millimeter scope. This one does have the illuminated reticle and the exposed turrets, which are resettable. You can zero them, and they have the zero stop, which is really nice. It doesn't allow you to go past your zero sets, which is really nice. It has Butler Creek flip up caps, keep the scope clean. The sunshade to me is worth a little bit of extra weight, just because in the area that we're shooting, where a lot of the shots are taken directly west or directly east, and it does help cut out the glare. Most times during a hunt, you're shooting in the early morning hours when the sun's right on the horizon, or shooting towards the evening where the sun is also on the horizon, and so your chances of getting glare kind of go up a lot. So the sunshade to me is worth the extra weight. I do have a buttstock pouch on the back. This it brings up the cheek piece just a little bit, and it gives me a little extra storage for ammunition, ballistics information, whatnot like that. The bottom metal is made by Pacific Tool and Machine, or let's see, Pacific Tool and something or other. Anyway, I'll annotate it. But anyway, it's their M5 bottom metal, stealth bottom metal, and it utilizes Accuracy International mags. This is a 5-round Accuracy International mag. You know, one of the things about Accuracy International is they're stinking expensive. This magazine costs like 70 bucks. So it's pricey, but the drop-away mag, the detachable box mag, makes it a really nice gun. It's really convenient for loading and unloading. The trigger is a tuned Remington trigger, so it's a tuned stock trigger. That's one of the things that I plan on changing on this gun here in the future, is putting a new trigger in it. Maybe like a 2-pound crisp trigger would be really nice. The rings on this are I think they're made by TPI. I want to say TPI, Tactical Precision something or other. And they're aluminum, 30 mil. The base here is a 0 MOA EGW base that's been pinned to the action, so it's really reliable and secure. The action itself is a blueprinted and accurized Remington 700 action. The stock here is the Bell & Carlson Light Tactical. What I like about this stock is it does have an aluminum bed inside of it, and it's also been bedded on top of that. But what I like about this stock is it's a tactical pistol grip style stock, but it's not as bulky and it's not as big and heavy as the bench rest rifles are, and so it's kind of a nice compromise stock between hunting and that tactical precision rifle. So it has a place for your bag and everything too. So it does have a 9 by 13 inch Harris bipod on the front. Harris is my favorite. It does have a swivel, which makes it nice to help you level your gun. And I think this is just an Allen sling, just a cheap little neoprene sling. It works really well. I've had that for multiple different hunts, and I'm not going to get rid of it just because it works. So that's pretty much the rifle. It is capable of shooting with my hand loads, half-minute or better groups. So it can outshoot me. Let's just say that. So here's one of my hand loads. This is a 165 grain boat-tailed soft point by Hornady, and this was in a Winchester case with a CCI primer, and we're shooting 44.4 grains of Varget. These are coming out at about 1650 feet per second, so they're not smoking out of the barrel, but they're clipping on at a pretty good pace. The ballistic coefficient on these rounds is 0.435, so that is the G1 coefficient, drag coefficient. So they're a decently slick bullet, and they retain pretty good energy out to distance. So this is probably going to be the last year that I go with a soft point. I'm probably going to go with more of a polymer tip bullet, ballistics tip bullet here in the future. And but this will probably be the last year that I load this particular round. But anyway, that is my hand load. Now, one of the things that like I said, this gun is capable of shooting half-minute groups or better with this ammunition. And one of the things that would make this more accurate is if I did vary my bullet seating depths. And what that is some guns like the bullet to be chambered right up against the lands, and some of them like their you know, like 2,000ths off the lands, or you know, some like them even touching. I haven't experimented enough with that to really tune out my hand load. And so in the future, I'd like to fine-tuning with my hand loads and see if I can get them down to cloverleaf groups for sure. So anyway, that is my hand load, the 165 grain boat-tailed soft point from Hornady. All right, so the binos that I'm going to be using this year are the Vortex Diamondbacks. These are the 10 by 42 Diamondbacks. They're waterproof. These are a really nice bang for your buck set of binos. I think you can, the price tested on these are like $199, something like that. They don't produce any eye strain. They're really stable, stable image for a 10 power. They bring back, you know, a fair amount of color. They do have a little bit of dinginess to the lenses if you compare these back to back with a really nice set of optics, you know, really nice, you know, $400 or $500 set of optics. You're definitely going to tell the difference. You know, it's really hard to tell unless you're looking at them back to back. So for the most part, your average Joe Blow is going to do really well with a nice set of Diamondbacks, and I really recommend these binos. So anyway, we're going to put them through their paces this hunt, and I'll give you an after action report with them for sure. All right, moving on to the last piece of gear here today is the Leupold RX1000i. This is a laser rangefinder. It's a 6 power. And this thing absolutely rocks. It is a really nice laser rangefinder. I haven't had any problem with it at all. The only thing that I wish I would have got is the TBR version, which gives you the true ballistic range. That does come in handy with some of the areas that I hunt, which has a lot of elevation in it. And so this would would have really come in handy. But for the most part, I'm going to have to do a better review with the Leupold RX1000, but this I've been able to range out to almost 1,100 yards. So it goes a little bit beyond 1,000. Sometimes on a really hazy day or something like that, you're going to have a hard time ranging out to 1,000 yards. But for the most part, it lives up to its name, and you should be able to get 1,000 yards out of it. One of the things that I like about it a lot is that it has a progressive scan. So you push the button down, and then you hold the button down, and it gives you a progressive scan of distances. So you can get a really good idea of your target and how far away it is. And I think this is, for long range hunting, a laser rangefinder is an absolute must. You have to know your range. Unless you're going to be doing ranging with your reticle, a laser rangefinder is one of your most invaluable tools that you're going to use. And I've had really good results with the Leupold RX1000i. All right, so that's the first video in this series of me getting ready for my elk hunting. So anyway, if you guys have any questions or comments about any of the gear that you see here, go ahead and leave your comments or questions down below. I'll try to get back to them as best I can. And if you guys like what you see, go ahead and take a moment and hit that like button down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this in the future. And as always, guys, thanks very, very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. See ya. All right, guys, we're gonna be shooting at 1,000 yards today. Let me zoom into the plate so we can see it. Hopefully you guys can see it. It's a little shadowed on the mountain there. There it is, right there, kind of in the center, a little bit off to the right of the screen there. So we're gonna be taking 1,000 yards with 1,000-yard shot with the 308 here, my elk rifle. So, and my hand loads.